One of the first things we need to know about our ferrets is how to sex them. The difference between the sexes is really quite obvious, not only in the parts that you think of, but also in their overall appearance. And here we have the male and the female, or more precisely the hob and the jill, and straight away you should be able to see the difference. This guy, the hob, the male, is a lot bigger than the jill. One or two of the little differences. Overall, he's a lot sturdier than the jill, a lot more powerfully built. His head is a different shape. It's almost an equilateral triangle, very broad around the ears. With the jill, a much more lady-like animal, much more petite, very slender. His head is very narrow, much narrower than the hob, much smaller than the hob altogether. So just to put them both together again so we can see, the hob much bigger, jill much more slight, not as long, different shaped head. Now another consideration, of course, when you're choosing your ferret is the coloration. This particular little chap is a polecat coloured ferret. He's in his winter coat, and during his winter coat his mask is quite pastel and isn't as obvious as it will be in the summer. But there are lots of other colours. This is the wild type colour, but remember that ferrets have been bred in captivity for thousands of years, and so people have bred other colours than that. One of the first colours that they bred was this little chap. He's the albino, white with seemingly pink eyes. The eyes are actually opaque, and all you actually see there with the red is the blood. And one or two other colours, and this is one of the latest ones that's been developed. It doesn't look quite as well now in his winter coat as he will do in the summer, but we show the back end, you can see that he's actually very much like a chinchilla. And he's not got red eyes, and he's not got black eyes. His eyes are ruby. So this is one of the latest colours, but there are literally hundreds of different colour combinations that you can now get with ferrets. Before you buy a ferret, just remember that they can live for up to 14 years. That's a long time and a lot of responsibility. Once you've made the decision, then you need to look around for a breeder. The animals that you're looking at should be aged between 8 and 12 weeks. Look for an animal that's full of energy, nice bright eyes, erect ears, nice shiny coat, and also check its feces. If it's got diarrhea, then avoid it. And also remember that if any ferret within a cage, a communal cage, actually has any kind of disease or has diarrhea, then you shouldn't buy any of the animals from there. Because although the animal that you choose may not be exhibiting those symptoms, it's probably carrying it. Now, I don't believe that you should keep a ferret on its own. I think you're better with at least two. And for the beginner, 2 jills are the best. 2 hobs may well fight, and a hob and jill, of course, will produce the patter of tiny feet. But always bear in mind that jills must be taken out of estrus, as mentioned elsewhere in this video. Okay, once we've got our ferrets, of course, we need somewhere to keep them in. And this is about the standard way of keeping ferrets outside. You may call it a hutch, but the technical term for this is a cup, a ferret cup. And the thing about it, well, it's got to stand outside, it's got to be weatherproof. So the roof is covered with a good heavy-duty felt. The roof slants, so that any rain that falls on it runs straight off. And you notice that there's quite a large overhang here, so that any water